So, hello everybody and welcome back again. This is Bernard from GoUSA.life, and today I would like to talk about really, I get this so many times, like the real purpose of moving to the United States of America as a foreigner, immigration, and what kind of like makes sense and what doesn't make really sense. And I want to call it reality check. Okay. So let me talk about this a little bit, and let me go back also specifically to some examples. I received a lot of questions, a lot of inquiries over the last, I would say, 5, 6 years, and I feel like today now I'm taking really the time and feel like I need and want to give you so much more information. But on top of it, I also would like to help you to guide you into the right direction. And I would like, in general, to let you know what kind of makes sense to move to the United States. Where do you have the best chances, and what kind seems not really like completely 100% the best way to do it. Okay, so let's keep it this way. And let me tell you, not just one story, it happens over and over and over again from multiple people, from hundreds of inquiries I received. Like it's crazy. And what always happens, what I see a true, very clear pattern is that a lot of people connecting with me, contacting me through my WhatsApp number, sending me on Facebook messages, or just simple by email, and they say, Bernard, look, it doesn't matter what I am going to do in the United States. I just want to work and live in the US. Now, I repeat, that's that's usually the common, the vast majority like is spitting it out hardcore and saying like, Bernard, I don't really care what I'm going to work in the United States as long as I can just move there. And even if I'm just a barista, I work at Starbucks, or I'm a cashier at Walmart or whatever, this is what I do everything for it, right? Now, let me try to explain this here a little bit. And let's have here a reality check, okay? So let me try to explain why I strongly believe this is not the right approach, how you want to move and immigrate to the United States. And also let's compare it to my case, what I had in mind, why I did it, and how I did it, okay? So let's get started first. Let's say you say it doesn't really matter. You just want to live, let's say in Florida, in the Sunshine State or whatever, and you would like to become a cashier at a supermarket store in the groceries or whatever. And no matter if you like this job or whatever, it's just like you want to do this, right? So I strongly believe that this is a misconception and that is misleading and that is not the right way to do it. Why? Um, Problem number one, and I had this many times because I'm back in the West Coast. Actually, I lived in many, many different cities, but I'm now back in California, in Silicon Valley. And just like I give you one example. Let's assume you are saying, I would like to live in Los Angeles, okay? And you don't care about the job. Like even if you hate the job, you just want to move to LA because you love LA so much. Point number one, keep this in mind. If you hate your job and if you do something you don't like, well, how do you really make your living situation better, right? I mean, think about it why you really want to move to the United States. If I would have moved to the United States, not because I wanted to change my life and I wanted to have my whole situation better, and I just would have said, I just uh, move. It doesn't matter what I work, even if I hate it, then I would have missed something very important because, for example, for me, it's just for me, I couldn't work at a cashier in a grocery store. I would go crazy. I would be super unhappy. I would be unfulfilled. I would be like sad about my life because if I have to work 50, 60 hours a week, any job I don't like, anything I don't like, I would be very, very unhappy. I just pick out this. Like, for example, for me, it wouldn't be anything, but of course, if you love it, if you like customer service, being at the grocery store cashier, and you are happy with this, fantastic. I just want to bring up this example that no matter what specific job it would be, if you don't like this job, that I wouldn't do it. Because think about it. What's the real purpose and reason of immigrating to the United States? Definitely, you might be at a point in your life, like I was, in my mid 20s, starting my 30s. I had this crisis already, and people said, "Are you nuts? You're not even, in your 40s or whatever. You're too young to have a midlife crisis or whatever." And I said, "Look, it's also misunderstood. I don't have actually a crisis, but I already thought about my life and what we are doing as a teenager. When I had my apprenticeship, I was 15 years old. I started a job. I did it for 1 year. I mean, I did the whole thing, the whole spiel, right? Like, I finished everything. Like, everybody told me, you have to do something, because if you don't do that, you know what you think. That's the system. That's how it is. I mean, that's how everybody else is living their lives. So why do you want to be different, Bernard, right? But I realized already I was 15 years old. I started my apprenticeship. And as you know, hopefully from my story, I don't have any special education or whatever. I started a simple apprenticeship in an office. Great coworkers. I mean, I was super happy about the people. Everybody was super nice, super polite to me. I couldn't complain, but I had this big question mark. First of all, I didn't really like what I was doing. And I mean, as an apprentice, you're 15 years old, you're literally a kid. I mean, what you're doing is like you do just something because you don't even know what you want to do, etc. Or like because you're being told start something, right? So I did it. Like the vast majority is starting anything. But I was so in a very short period of time, after 3 months, 6 months, being in this game, I felt like, wait a minute, that's it? Like, I saw the work environment, I saw the life from people who have been a little bit older than me, people who are close to retirement, people who have been working in the office. I was working for like a kitchen company, and they had also workers outside, and they have been working in the production, assembling, all this kind of stuff. And I just, observed it. And I was like, wait a minute. If I add now 30 years to my life, this is where you are. You just do the same thing over and over again, and you don't really like what you're doing. I mean, I can only speak for myself. I cannot speak from the people who have been working there. But for me, I knew like it would kill me. I was 15 years old, and I knew already like, wait a minute, if this is now, this is it. This is the whole system. This is the whole process. You wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're tired as hell. Uh, you don't really enjoy what you're doing. You just do it for money or because the system is telling you to do it so you can survive, and you're not fulfilled. You're not happy what you're doing. Like, I knew like, wait a minute, that is a dead end. That doesn't go anywhere. It will make me completely unhappy, right? Now, it might be I was 15 years old, and of course, I was going through this process because I didn't even know how to get out of it. I didn't even understand this whole world. I didn't understand what are we doing. And I mean, like, and at the point, I didn't even find my right passion, like what I really like to do. And on top of it, how can you actually have a job with what you like to do, and how can you make a living with what you like to do? I mean, that's a completely different chapter, right? But going back to this is like, if you don't like what you're doing right now, and this is why I brought up then this misconception, and I want to call it reality check, and then you pick a job, let's say in the United States, and you don't like this job, and you just do it so that you can be there, then trust me, you will not be happy. It will not end well for you. You will not be rewarded. Life is too short for doing something you don't like to do. And so that is very, very important. So that what I can tell you from experience and from my yeah, it's also my personal recommendation. I would never recommend you just move to the United States and do anything, even if you hate doing it, because you will not make your life better. What's the whole purpose of moving to the US? That if you then execute a job you really hate, you don't like to do, you cannot be fulfilled, you will not be happy. So that means if you are really willing to move to the United States, if this is a plan, what do I recommend? I recommend that you pick something and you do something what you really love doing, where there is a passion and you say like, this is what I can do on a daily basis and it doesn't even feel like work. And people also ask me, but Bernard, I have a passion for this and that, but like, that's not the job I learned doing and I don't have any experience in this. Now, let's get back to my case, how I did it, how I moved to the United States, and also how I was succeeding. Now, if you haven't seen other videos, if you haven't seen my webinar in which I also explain the whole process, how you can move quickly to the US, how to get a sponsorship in the job, let me be more specific here. You know by now, hopefully, if you have seen all my other videos, that when I moved to the United States, I moved with the job description and the job title to the United States, where, I mean, I can say for sure I did not have an apprenticeship as a graphic designer. I didn't go to a higher educational school to learn how to be a graphic designer. I was self-taught. Now, what does it mean? Being self-taught means nothing else than you have a passion in something you can talk about every day. And you really feel happy about this. You really feel like this is your real call. This is really what you would like to do as a profession. Then this is it. This is what you should aim for. This is what you should shooting for, prepare for, and create a website, a portfolio, your resume, etc. Put all your efforts in and focus on that, regardless if you had an education or if you didn't. Because look at me, I had no education, but I had no apprenticeship or whatever, but I loved computer graphics, especially very niched one, 3D computer graphics. And that basically was everything I needed and I wanted. And I created then a portfolio. I of course, over the years, I gained skills and I was digging so deep into this that this was actually the key also to move to the United States, because then I was able to apply at the companies that have been looking for people like me who had that specific skill set. I would say skill set. So you have, very niche down skills which you can apply, and then you become an asset to those companies. Now, also what I wanted to say in the reality check of what makes sense to move to the United States quickly, what makes maybe less sense is, first of all, what we just discussed, and I tried to explain it. Pick something you really love doing. And trust me, there is one thing, this rolls different than in many, many other countries, especially like I can speak from Austria, Germany, Europe, but I think it's very similar, like in the UK, it might be very similar in Australia, in somewhere in Asia, etc. That people believe if you learn something from school and you have a bachelor's degree, a college degree, or just an apprenticeship like I had, right? That this is the only thing you can do or you can apply for jobs. That is a misconception. That is a big mistake and a big problem, I would say. What you should really aim for is what you feel like that's your passion, where you make your own studies, where you drive yourself on a daily basis, and no matter what that is. If you're a creative person like me, if you can draw, if you can paint, it really doesn't matter, even if you're a musician. but maybe it's also something in sales, in marketing, and whatever. And look, even marketing is such a big, broad term. You can be great in email automation systems. You can understand business growth. You can be great in project management. You can be fantastic in business development. I mean, infinitive options. But what really matters are now those facts that you really consider that is, I believe, also the absolute core value in being successful of immigrating to the United States, moving and working and living in the United States, is that you do what you love doing. Then once you identify this, that you apply at companies, showing how you can help them. Um, also being very thankful about this, having the gratitude. That's very, very important. But definitely focusing on this and then saying like, look, this is what makes me happy. This is how I can bring value to a company. And then you become an asset to this company because they can definitely see like, okay, maybe you have been a carpenter before. You had an apprenticeship. You have been 15, 16 years old till your 20s at the beginning, and then you're maybe now in the mid 20s, and you, even if you started something, maybe you went to college, to the university, but you feel like you're 25 years in the mid 20s, and you feel like, you know what, I actually would like to do something completely different, but I'm good at it. And or you made a lot of research and you know that, and you can show that today. You can show that by creating your own blog, your own social media use your own social media profiles on different various platforms in which you talk about this, in which you connect with other people, or you're active in forums, you engage with people, but you know your stuff, and that is so important. Now, let's go back to reality check. What I believe makes sense to be successful in the United States, to also make your immigration process successful, is that you do something that makes you happy, that you apply for a job where you are a great fit, that you do something you really enjoy. And I don't believe that, honestly, I would not recommend you that you should apply for any job, even if you hate this job, just so you can move to the United States. I don't believe in that, and I would never ever recommend it to you. Now, in my situation, when I roll back, it was exactly the same. And still today, I have a strong passion for like computer graphics. Okay, anything creative with it, from art direction to creative direction to creating actually cool stuff, whatever. Doesn't matter if it's for film, if it's for commercials, it really doesn't matter. But I always had a strong passion for that, and I learned software packages, got really good at it, still love it. Technology is progressing constantly, and that opened a lot of opportunities. And that's what I did. I did not come to the United States. I did not say like, okay, I just want to be here, and if I am doing something every day, working in the coal mine, going down, and doing something I would truly not enjoy, this would have not been like success to me, and it's also I want to say that, for me, success doesn't necessarily mean that you have a lot of numbers on your bank account. For some people it might be, for some people, it for me, for example, it's not everything. Yes, it feels good if you maybe feel better, if you're getting better compensated for the service you offer, for the help you offer, for your consulting business, for your job you do, whatever, right? We all know that. But for me, the ultimate success is not measured by how much money you have on your bank account. I think the ultimate success is, for what you do on a daily base, is the process. If you enjoy the process you're doing, number one, so that's your call. It's basically, in Germany, I would say that the real Berufung, the Berufung. So that means the call. What do you really like to do? And if that doesn't feel like it's a job and if it doesn't feel like it's a work, then you're on the right track. And of course, always never underestimate that is your private relationship, your private life, your family, your kids, your wife or husband, whatever, and friends, you know. And I think there is no price tag on that. And of course, what I also can tell you is even that might sound a little bit crazy too. Uh, but when I was in my 20s, I learned that I did not appreciate health. I did. I just said like that's anyways my foundation, because if I'm not even healthy, like what the heck, right? But as older you get, I can also tell you like appreciate it, show gratitude that you're healthy and that you can actually do whatever you would like to do as long as you're healthy. You can actually move on and you can be successful and really be happy with your life as long as you do what you believe in, what you're really good at, what you would like to learn, and how you can help other people solving problems, supporting them, and this, in my opinion, is the ultimate success. So, again, the reality check is please think about it for yourself. If you don't feel well in the current environment you are, no matter where you are, if you don't feel like accepted, if you don't feel like you're in the right spot, if you feel like, oh my God, this is not my life, or this is not the right environment, like it was for me, right? Then yes, the United States of America can offer you a lot, will offer you a lot, and you can do a lot here. But again, reality check, please. I recommend you do not consider to move to the United States because just you say like I don't care what I'm going to work. It might be, it might be like it might be that you feel okay with some jobs and you feel like okay you just do it because that's the only option you have or whatever. But for me, it's like life has more to offer. And I think it's everything was said, what I believe, that I don't want that you feel worse. I don't want that you feel bad about a situation that you moved into the US or that you do something you don't enjoy in your life. Because, you know, what's the whole thing about it? So you want to have a better life, you want to improve your life, you want to be on the happy side, and that's a huge part of it. Work is a huge part of it. So that's all what I wanted to let you know. That shouldn't be a demotivation. I hope that I can also, with my very honest and authentic thoughts, I can guide you into the right direction. I can also make sure that the right, like question marks pop up, but then you also find your own answer, because the only person who can answer that if you are happy with the move and why you would like to move to the United States, only you can answer it for yourself. And I would say like um, your tendencies to move to the United States might be very, very similar to like what I experienced, like from the feelings, why I wanted to move to the US, etc. I think there is no doubt about that, because all of us immigrants, people who would like to leave from a country, um, we want to leave because of a specific like issue we have or we had in the past. And that might be because we don't feel very well, we don't might feel like as accepted in this environment, or we scratch our head and say like, oh my God, like this is not my culture, or like why was I born here, or everybody looks at me like I'm a creep, I'm a weirdo because I have a different opinion. Uh, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin, and you basically feel like I want to leave. And I feel this magnet, the United States of America, is like it's so big, it's so diversified. That's what I love also about the United States, because you have people here from all over the world, and what unites us in the United States is literally, I think, also this immigration status that the vast majority, I would say so, seriously, right now, when I look in my environment for over the last decade, is like immigrants, immigrants, immigrants. And everybody was kind of like leaving because we have been not as happy in the country we have been living at the beginning, or the country didn't give us those opportunities we are finding here in the United States of America. So uh, I hope that this also helps you a little bit to think about it. It's a little bit a reality check, and should also motivate you to move into the right direction. And if you haven't seen my webinar in which I'm talking specifically and explaining specifically how I was able to move so quickly with my entire family and my 3 little children to the United States, if you haven't seen it, go to my website and register there. You can sign up. It's at gousa.life. Again, it's gousa.life. And then you will receive immediately a link to the webinar. You can fast forward it. You can stop and pause it. You can rewatch it later. I also don't do any weird tricks where people always say, you can only watch the webinar right now and whatever. And like tomorrow it's done. I don't see any purpose in this. There is no rush. All I want is that you feel really comfortable about moving to the US, that hopefully you find your way, that you're happy what you're doing, and that you can succeed in an easier way, that you feel like, okay, you get value out of my videos and everything else, and that you feel comfortable doing this. And trust me, all I can tell you is look at me. So many naysayers always told me it's impossible for you, Bernard. You will never be able to move to the United States. What you believe? You're just an apprentice, right? Like you're a loser. I mean, people told me that hardcore into my face. It was not easy to digest back then in my 20s. Today I can laugh about it, because as older you get, as stronger your mindset is also developed. And I can only encourage you and tell you, like, if you have this in your mind, if you would like to change your life, if you would like to move to the United States, don't listen to the naysayers. Follow your own passion, follow your own heart, and your dream will come true. One day you can make this happen as well. And if you need a little bit more help and the guide, again, I'm more than happy to help you with additional information. And if you haven't seen also my membership, check it out at gousa.life. But again, first watch the webinar and then you get more information about this as well. So that's all what I wanted to let you know. I wish you, as always, from my side, of course, all the best. You will need good luck, of course, as well too. So good luck, thumbs up. And as long as you focus on what you want to achieve, I can definitely tell you you will achieve it. And in those crazy times with the pandemic, all I can tell you is stay healthy, of course, stay safe, and I hope to see you also soon here in the United States. And I wish you, of course, already all the best. Talk to you later in my next YouTube video or podcast. And if you like that, please, of course, don't forget to subscribe, and also feel free to listen to any of those various podcast platforms, no matter if you're an iPhone or on an Android system. So that being said, all the best. Hope to see you soon here in the United States, and talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.